Sri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. When Lord Krishna was ready to depart for Dwaraka, Yudhisthira Maharaj requested him to stay some more time. While discussing, Yudhisthira Maharaj recollected that Bhishma Dev is lying on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Sri Suta Goswami says, Yudhisthira Maharaj decided to go and see Bhishma Dev, took all his brothers and relatives and proceeded on the chariot to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is way away from Hastinapur, New Delhi. Lord Krishna and Arjuna also climbed on the chariot and proceeded behind Yudhishthira. When sages and saintly people found out that Lord Krishna and 5 Pandavas are going to visit Bhishma Dev, they also came there. Seeing all the Pandavas and Lord Krishna near him, Bhishma Dev paid his obeisances to Lord Krishna. Sri Sutaji says, Krishnam tum prabhavagya asinam jagadishwaram hridistham pujayamasa mayayopata vigraham. Lord Sri Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. Bhishma Dev paid his obeisances. Knowing that the influence of Lord Krishna, the blessings of Lord Krishna removes the influence of Maya. Lord Krishna cannot be touched by Maya, and anybody comes under his care, shelter, is also becomes unafraid of Maya. Maya goes. Bhishma Dev worshipped him in his mind, washed his feet, put a garland, performed arti and all that. Worshipping in the mind can only be done by those who have practiced sufficiently for a long time. Very difficult to control mind, but when one practices devotional life continuously for a long time, then one day its stage comes automatically. Then Bhishma Dev looked towards Pandavas and Yudhisthira and said that, O Yudhisthira, you had suffered a lot, you had tolerated, you had put up with so much of problems created by Duryodhana. Before my eyes and my knowledge, you were troubled, but you tolerated them all. And then said that Lord Sri Krishna took care of you and kept you immune from being disturbed, becoming disturbed. Then he said, Nahyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhit sitam. Yad vijigyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopya. Lord Sri Krishna is, O King Yudhisthira, Lord Sri Krishna is beyond the rules and he is the creator of all the rules. But those who are under his shelter, they remain undisturbed. So you remained undisturbed by the help of Lord Sri Krishna. Esave Bhagavan Sakhyat Adyo Narayana Swayam. Lord Sri Krishna is not ordinary. He is the origin of Narayana. Adyo Narayana. Origin of Narayana. He is the original Narayana. He is called Mahānaṇḍaleshwar. He has taken a human form. Mohayan Maya Loke Gurhascharati Brishnesu. He is bewildering by everyone by his using his potency. People think that he is an ordinary person. He is a great hero. He is a stalwart. He is a great politician. Something like that. Gurhascharati Brishnesu. He is born in the Brishni dynasty just to bewilder everyone. But those who are devotees of him, they understand him. He is hiding with his Maya in the Prishni dynasty, and even those who are learned, they become bewildered if he is God or not. Those who are weak in devotion, they sometimes think, no, Krishna is not God, just somebody made him God. I remember 1986 in Vijayawada, India, one professor came to see me. I was staying in somebody's house. He came there and discussing, he said, Vyasadeva made Lord Krishna God. He is not God. He was made God since 5,000 years. Big advertisement, so everybody thinks he's God. I said, no, it is not like this. Yeah, I am making Sai Baba God. I am writing Sai Bhagavat Gita. I said, Sai Gita or something like that. So 5,000 years later, Sai Baba will be accepted by everyone as God. I told him God has no muscles, God does not grow more than 16 years, God does not have mustache and beard. God can take any form. Lord Krishna took four-armed form many, many times. Your Sai Baba has beard, he grew up and became old man and died. God never dies, he does not take birth. His birth is not normal. When he took birth, when Krishna took birth, he was 16 years old already and he had 4 arms and 4 kinds of weapons. He wore all ornaments and garments. Pitambara. He kept quiet anyway. So like that. So Lord Krishna is bewildering even the learned because he's covered with Maya, his own Maya, Devi Maya. One who chants name of Krishna, Bhishmadev says, anybody chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, and meditates on Lord Krishna, he says, O Yudhisthira, they become liberated from this world. Bhaktya aveshya mano yasmin vacha yannama kirtanam त्यजत कलेवरम योगी मुच्यते सर्व कर्म भी मुच्यते सर्व किल विषय. Bhagavad Gita says, anybody who takes shelter of me becomes free from all sins and problems. How wonderful Lord Krishna is. Bhaktya aveshya mano yasmin. Those who become mesmerized in devotional service, they cannot leave like an ant. When he catches the sugar, don't leave. Similarly, anybody who developed that habit that does not leave when devotional service is accepted, that person in due course of time becomes from the clutches of Maya. Muchyante sarva karma bhi, who becomes free from kilvisha means sins. Na those yasmin bacha yannama kirtanam, who chants the kirtana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, chants japa and does kirtan. That person has to be faithful. Then Bhishmadev spoke about Varna and Asrama. Varna means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, how they should function. And Asrama means Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. These 8 categories. 2 categories of 4 each he spoke. Brahman should be very simple, live as per rules. We will discuss this later on. Yudhisthira Maharaj and Narada Muni's discussion will come in future. That we will discuss Varna and Asrama situations. Then he spoke that one should give charity, follow. Actually, he was speaking to Yudhisthira Maharaj. Make sure you give charity. You give charity because Grihastha must give charity. Dana dharma, Raja dharma. Maintain your subject as your own children you would maintain. Moksha dharma, teach everyone how to obtain liberation. Stri dharma, then you teach the ladies how to behave. And at last he taught Bhagavat Dharma, how to chant and do devotional service. And it is the goal of life. The goal of life of all Varna and all Asrama is Bhakti Dharma, he said. Grihastha Dharma he spoke about how wife, husband should live, how everyone should work for liberation, how to maintain the whole subject or family, and how to give charity, like that. But Bhagavat Dharma is for everyone, he said. Then he spoke about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Then he said that those who are less intelligent, teach them how to be religious so they can attain enough money and enjoy sense gratification and work for liberation. Then, after speaking to Pandavas, he collected his mind and focused on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Devotee always comes back to Lord Krishna, even though he goes for preaching or doing whatever job he has to do to maintain life, always comes back to Lord Krishna. And focusing on Lord Krishna, all his miseries, because he was lying on the bed of arrows, all his miseries ceased. He became free from misery. And then he controlled all his senses, focused on lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And thanked him to come and visit him. And he said that if his name is just a name, comes at the tongue, at last minute, a departing time, goes back to Godhead. You yourself has come in front of me, I am seeing you. Antakale tu mame vasmaran muktva kalevaram. It's not easy. Only devotees like Bhishmadev can get Lord Sri Krishna present. Physically, everybody can see Krishna was present. But those who are pure devotees right now in Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna comes in front of them, but everybody cannot see. Only the departing devotee sees. And he left his body. Yudhisthira Maharaj performed his last rites and returned. All the sages and saints went back to their own place. Then Shaunak Rishi asked Sudha Goswami, the nature of Pandavas were not to enjoy life. They did not want to enjoy, they were not interested in enjoying senses and physical world. Why they fought such a big war to obtain a kingdom? Why? What was that problem? A pure devotee should be detached from material affairs. Why he collects so many things, built an ashram, maintains devotees? Why? And please tell how Yudhisthira Maharaj ruled. What happened? Can you tell me? Sri Suta Goswami spoke that by nature Yudhisthira was very pious. He was incarnation of Dharma, religion personified. By hearing Lord Krishna's words and Bhishma Deva's instructions, the misery in his heart for killing so many people mitigated. He became a little peaceful. While he ruled the earth, Kali Yuga entered. Kali Yuga came. So Yudhisthira Maharaj recognized him and forbade him to enter in his kingdom and told him, get out. So Kali Yuga said, Lord Brahma allowed me to stay 432,000 years. He gave me my life to stay. Yudhisthira Maharaj did not forbid that you cannot come. But he said, you promise me, otherwise I will kill you. You promise me that you will not influence my kingdom for 5,000 years. So Kali Yuga agreed. Said, I will not influence, but I will live on earth, in your kingdom. But I will not influence the minds of your subjects for 5,000 years. Now 5,100 and some years has passed. So Kali Yuga's words he kept. Man is known by the words he keeps. And he did not influence for 5,000 years. Now influence of Kali Yuga has begun about 150 years. We are seeing Kali Yuga's influence. In the kingdom, because he was so pious, in the kingdom of Yudhisthira Maharaj, timely rain, sufficient food, people were healthy, no diseases, they had enough milk. Everything was very nice, all happy. There were no diseases arising from within, no problems for material nature, no problems from demigods, dahika, devika, bhautika. All these problems were not there. Three modes of material nature were equally agreeing, everyone. Then Lord Sri Krishna, because they all returned to Hastinapur, Lord Sri Krishna decided to go back to Dwaraka. Lord Sri Krishna spoke to Draupadi, Subhadra, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Krupacharya, Yudhisthira, and said that I'm returning to Dwaraka. Hearing this, they all became very disturbed because they only wanted Lord Krishna with them. But Lord Krishna had his rule, his kingdom. He had to go back. His mission was completed. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj arranged for military force, thinking that possibly Lord Sri Krishna needs help on the way. Then Lord Sri Krishna climbed on his chariot to go. Lord Sri Krishna, when he entered in his kingdom, all the Dwarkavasis welcomed him. And Lord Sri Krishna was very happy to see his family. They said that when you are away from us, we feel like one moment to be equal to one yuga. Actually, it is a fact. Lord Sri Chaitanya also said that. Yugayitum nimishena chakyusa prabrushayitum. If one moment separation from Krishna seems like one yuga is considered in Vedic standard to be 12 years or maybe more. So, being separated from Krishna is not easy for a devotee, even for one moment. Devotee cannot relinquish Krishna. One who cannot relinquish Krishna's service, chanting, devotional life, even for one moment, he becomes a pure devotee. Thank you very much.